On this week's episode of the Hunt and Flip Show.
You know what I saw? I saw somebody try to do a live auction walking into Goodwill and do it right off the shelves. Like they had a following, they had quite a few people watching, and they were like, oh, they pick it up, they pick something up from the shelf. Oh, this looks interesting. What do you think this? Oh, I think this is what it is. You guys want to bid on it? And people say yes, they want to bid in messages. Okay, let's start an auction on this. And there's a price on it of $3.99 from Goodwill, and this thing goes for like $14 right in the
Wow.
store.
Well, we're back for another episode, Pete. Looks like you got your glasses back.
No.
Well,
No.
What are you wearing right now?
No. This is the whole new story with the glasses. Okay.
Well, what happened?
So, okay. Should we talk about this? Wait a minute, because that episode with the glasses is still
just tell me what happened. What currently right now
on
the 6th of August. What in the hell are you wearing on your face?
So these
we want to know right now.
They might look like my glasses from probably 10 years ago, although they're very similar to the ones that I wear currently. But
Right.
I'm going away on this big trip just in a couple days, right? And as you guys are watching this, I'm already gone, right?
No.
Is that right?
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
If you're going in 2 days, right?
Yeah, I am. I'm gone. I'm gone.
Okay. So we're recording this 2 days ahead of time.
Right. So about 2 weeks ago, even a little bit more than 2 weeks ago, I decided, okay, it's been about 3 years. I think I need a new eye exam. Okay. I'm going to go get myself a new prescription, get new set of glasses. My glasses are all scratched up and beat up, and then one side is kind of crooked. I'm like, it's time. I'm going on this trip. I want to have new glasses. So I go into Costco. I get my eye exam. And I tell them I want the same. I want to use the same glasses if they can just fix one side because it's a little bit crooked, but I love these glasses. So
Right.
just put new lenses. I want to keep the same frames. They said, no problem. So they took the glasses from me and they said 7 to 10 days. 10 days go by. I get a message from Costco. They left me a message and they say, hey, we have a little problem. Please contact us. We broke your glasses. I'm like, what? A little problem? That's a big problem for me. What do you mean you broke my glasses? Yeah. So I call immediately and they go, yes. So the lab accidentally broke your glasses and they cannot be fixed. And they are willing to pay for the new pair. Pick anything you want that we have in a store. I'm like, but you don't have these anymore that I want. What are we going to do? And so they said, I'm sorry, pick whatever you want. So I did pick a pair. And I still have like almost a week left before my trip.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, this should be no problem. Here's what they say. Since I'm in Illinois and I pick my glasses, their main lab that they use is in California. They don't do overnight shipping. There's no way they can get them back to me on time before I leave. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I went to you almost 3 weeks before just to make sure I get my glasses in time. Like a responsible guy. For once, I go get something done way early so I get it on time, and this happens. And now I'm wearing my glasses. They are 10 years old. They're scratched up like hell. I can't see anything. I get a headache after 5 hours wearing these because it's an old prescription. So obviously, it hurts me. I can't see you, John, now. I can't see you.
Well, that's a good thing, some might say.
So that's the story with the glasses. Yeah. So I'm going on a trip with these. This is horrible.
So you're still dealing with that issue. Okay.
Yeah.
So because you're dealing with that issue now, that means you're still going to be dealing with that issue in 2 weeks from now, and it won't be resolved until the end of the month at the earliest.
At the earliest, because I'll be gone for almost 3 weeks. So yes.
Wow.
hopefully by then, when I come back, the glasses will be waiting for me at Costco.
But we're going to keep talking about your glasses.
Sure. Why not?
So, sorry about that. Of course, people in my world know that I'm on these podcasts, but they still text me anyway. And it's my fault for not shutting my phone off. So, we got some news to report, you guys. Last episode, we were talking about Mr. Ryan Cohen and the possibility that he would be willing to come on to the podcast, or at the very minimum, Pete's channel. But what did you learn, Pete?
So you saying we got some news? We really don't have any news.
Well, that's the news. It's not happening.
That's the news. It's crickets. We got nothing. They haven't responded to my request, which, keep in mind, they were the ones that reached out first to do this interview.
Yeah.
And then when I got back to them, I said, yes, I would be interested. But by the way, I have a co-host. We do this podcast. We would like to bring him on a podcast here and then spread it between all the channels, the final footage. So if he wants, he'll get the maximum amount of exposure, right? So I sent the email, I sent proposal dates, but nothing. Nothing came back. No, yes, no, thank you, bye, nothing.
Nothing. That's it. It almost seems to me, based on when you first got the request from their team, that since from then until last week or whenever I'm getting confused as to the episode we're on, but whenever you replied back, they probably filled the need with another show or another.
Maybe, but it seemed to me, John, like, he's been bouncing around between different shows, not necessarily only reseller and niche shows. He's been a lot of different podcasts. So it would seem that it would be still okay for him to go on. But since last week, I haven't seen anything new from him on any other channel if you search through like YouTube and stuff. So who knows? Maybe they're done with that campaign. Maybe they had enough what they needed to do, or maybe some things completely change directions that they're going and they're not ready to share anything. I don't know. Who knows?
Well, we're talking. You're going to be gone for a few weeks, and the show's still going to be going. How are you handling things on the reselling side? Now, of course, you have people manning your store. Is someone handling the eBay account, or is that something you usually do?
No, so I basically, when I'm gone unless there's real fire, then I get involved. So I am available if something would drastic happen that they need to get hold of me. But otherwise, everything is on a cruise control. I got Ryan managing the whole store. I got Nick managing the eBay. Packages are getting packed and shipped every day. Just business as usual. Nothing changes except I'm not there, So
okay. Which is for some the definition of a business. I can get into that this episode.
Right.
So
right.
really, I mean, we're kind of getting into the heart of summer. Slowdown is going to be ending here pretty soon. Hopefully, kids are going back to school very, very soon in a lot of part of the country. So I think those clothing sellers out there, you should have your clothing up already, and if not, start getting them up now, because historically, seen some data that shows in the spring and the fall, it's usually the best time of year for clothing sellers. More demand in those categories of clothing and shoes.
Yeah, for sure. Plus whole lot of things, as well too. Yeah, I think most of the country, the school thing starts kind of mid August, right? Towards the end of the August.
Yeah.
So, and actually that moment, that's why I'm going mainly away on that trip, is kind of dead for me. Not maybe so much online, but in the shop. It does slow down. Parents are preoccupied getting the kiddos ready to school, so they're shopping different stuff. They're not shopping in my store. They don't have a need anything in my store. So it's a little bit slower. So this is perfect time, like for me to, skip town for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I'm going to be gone too. So when you guys are watching this episode, I will be in a different location for a few days, until from Wednesday until Sunday. And Jenna's going to be holding down the fort here, which, we'll have the listings. I'm a big believer in scheduling listings while I'm away. And yeah, I could list them all now. I have a bunch of listings in queue I could probably list now, but I really am a big believer of feeding the algorithm daily activity. And while I'm gone, I'll get on and do a little end item sell similar remotely with my laptop. It take me 10 minutes to do it for each store. But I really, really do believe that giving it the that daily attention, it does keep yourself consistent. You're putting consistent things up. You're doing consistent things within eBay, and you're rewarded with consistency. What do you think about that?
I do the same thing. I mean, we list every single day, except one day a week. Usually Sunday, the whole thing is pretty much done. Although I'm still shipping items. I'm still answering questions and doing a little tweaking here and there. But there's no new listings, going up on Sunday. But almost every single day I have listings going up. Yeah, I believe the same way that activity is important for the algorithm. So
And she'll
yeah,
be doing a lot of that stuff that she doesn't normally do. So instead of allowing me to handle the questions, she just, when we get a question in, she just doesn't do anything with it. But she's going to have to be on her game, answering questions throughout the day, and dealing with any problems that come up, and handling return requests. Hopefully, we have some returns in queue, so it's just our luck that we'll end up getting those packages in the mail the day after I leave. It's one of those things. If she wasn't going to be here, then I'd have to. I don't like using the vacation mode. I really like doing it a different way, and I haven't tried vacation mode, so I guess maybe part of it is because I just haven't tried it. But what I like to do is, let's say I'm gone for 3 or 4 days, because I'm generally not gone any longer than that. I will change my handling time on my shipping to 3 business days, and then the following day I'll change it to
so you
two, and then
adjust it.
one.
Yeah.
Every day I bring it back to where on the day that I come back, and well, usually Friday, I have it set up to where Friday evening I have it back to one day, because eBay doesn't care if
Yeah.
we ship on Saturday or not. They'll give us until Monday to ship. So that generally has worked for me well in the past, versus putting a banner up on top of your listing saying I'm going to be out of, whatever until this date, which I've seen mixed results from people who've had the out of, what is it called? Vacation mode, where it has a
Yeah.
little banner saying we're going to be out of town. And some people swear by it. They still get great sales. It's just one of those things where I don't know. I just haven't tried it, but I just don't want to. I don't want to lose sales, really,
Yeah.
because
And
of
I
it.
think it really depends what you sell to, because I tell you, if you sell items that are kind of necessities, that somebody needs something because something broke and they're replacing, they want
Yeah.
stuff relatively quick.
Mhm.
If they're buying something that it's, I don't know, a game, a board game or whatever that, they've been hunting for, they finally found it, they don't care if it comes to them in 3 days or a week, long
Right.
as they found it and it's coming to them. So I think that's big difference what you're selling. That's how you should approach it. If you're selling, somebody's toilet seat broke and John needs to deliver the toilet seat to them, they want it right now. They want it yesterday, right? So
That's right. I mean,
yeah.
what's life without a good toilet seat?
Yeah, I know.
So we've, talking about vacations and stuff, generally Jenna and I, we really haven't had an opportunity to go on vacation. And it's one of those things where you have a couple dogs, and I've talked about this on my channel, a couple dogs, and they're not really socialized all that well. And the idea of leaving them in a kennel, it's like, they're a family. We don't want to do that to them, but they can't really handle road trips all that well. Although, did get into a conversation with a good friend of mine back in California. They go to Pismo Beach every August, actually every July. They just got back, recently, and they have a dog friendly hotel there and a dog friendly area. So it's something we're going to try next year. We're going to do a little 4-hour road trip. I think it was a 5-hour road trip out there, and just see it. Give it a 4 or 5 days and see if the dogs can handle it.
Yeah, take the puppies with you. How big are the dogs?
Oh, they're just Morkies. They're maybe about 5-6 pounds a piece. They're not very heavy.
Well, see, like my cabin up north that I rent out. I allow for people to bring their dogs up to 25 pounds. Because I know, especially the smaller dogs, people like to travel with their smaller dogs. And I don't have a problem them, bringing a dog. And it's a big deal for people. And I think if just because of that, I get extra reservations. People will scroll and they see, oh, this place accept dogs, So a lot of places don't, Yeah. So
yeah, then you have that deposit. So if something goes wrong, you can always kind of go back on that, deduct the money.
Yeah, I think we do have a deposit, like $200 or something, or $250 or something.
I'm always looking at the worst case scenario, like, oh no, what could happen? Someone can come in here, rent from you, and destroy the property.
Listen, it could happen. I can rent it to the best person out there, and shit can go wrong. You know what I mean? Like you just never know. So you got to either make a decision: are you renting or you're not renting? If you are that scared and panicked about it, and if it's your baby, you don't want to rent it, you don't rent it. If I bought it to use it for myself, but also as an investment and a business, then I want to rent it. And as simple as that. That's how I'm looking at that. This is my business, and if things go wrong, I have insurance. I got proper things in place. If things go wrong, to take care of it. That's all it is, So, but going back to your doggies, you can also. You ever thought about like getting sitters? They come in a couple times a day, take care of your dogs, or this is something that you don't want anybody coming to your house, or you don't want.
I've never felt comfortable with that. I just never have.
Okay.
Someone get curious, start going through my items in the garage. It's like, no, I just don't want that. It would have to be someone that I knew and was comfortable with. They've been to the house already. The dogs know them and they know what I do. Last thing you want is to hire some random off the street and then your stuff is gone, or a couple of the, something's wrong. And of course you can't, unless I set up cameras inside here, you really can't prove anything. So no, it's, I can usually turn to my son, drive out to California. He can watch him for 3 or 4 days. And he's done that before, but I generally don't want to do that. It may be something we do next year because she also wants to go on a cruise. I've never been on a cruise before. And it's something one of those bucket list things that I'd like to do. Anything that involves food whenever you want it, you can't miss that, right? So I don't care where the hell we're cruising to. We can cruise to, the ice wall in Antarctica or Alaska or wherever. I'll go just to try it one time. Now, some people say it's worth doing again. It's something they do all the time. And some people are like, I ain't ever doing that again. So I don't know where I'm going to be on that,
But if you haven't done it, you got to go and try it. You got to pick a cruise line that it's kind of in the middle somewhere. That way, because there's some they're not so good, and there's some that are excellent. And I've been on few, and I had a pretty good comparison. And I think money well spent is somewhere in the middle, and you're getting the comfort, decent food, and good entertainment. If you go cheap, the food is usually not the best. And listen, anytime you're feeding 4, 5, 6,000 people at the same time, it can't be that good. Although they have different restaurants and it's set up that it's not everybody at once, but still, it's a restaurant that it's floating, So,
what's wrong with that?
I think I've been to 1, 2, 3, 4 different cruises over my lifetime, and every one of them was pretty damn good experience, So I think it's worth a try for sure.
Hey, how was the cookies? I sent you and your team some cookies.
Oh,
What happened?
we gotta
I haven't
talk
heard a
about
thing
this.
from you. That must not have been that good if you're not going to bring them up.
So it seems to me like it took forever because I just got the package yesterday.
Okay.
Okay. I got the package yesterday. Here's the interesting. So your package made it to one of my videos, which gonna air probably about 2 weeks from now, maybe 3 weeks from now. Depends how we. Yeah, it might be 3 weeks from now.
Okay.
So, but this is what I was gonna tell you, and we can spoil it here. I get the package. Your package was opened by USPS and retaped with their tape that it says right on it. We opened this package and we retaped it, and it says USPS something something. You'll see it on a video.
Yeah.
Here's what's interesting. I wonder, there's two things that I wonder if they're fishing for. Why would they open this? Because it's food and they have some kind of scanners that it goes through and they can see it, and they just making sure that it's something that it's not appropriate, that it's in there.
Mm-hmm.
Or are they checking if your package was right on 2.1 ounces?
So you added all that tape. It's more now.
So right.
Yeah.
And you send it obviously through pirate ship at the 3-pound rate, which is exactly perfect. That's exactly what it was. I wonder what they're looking for in that
I
package.
made sure that package was over 2 pounds. So none of this BS where I put it at 3 pounds where it wasn't 3 pounds. It was there. So
yeah.
No. Now they didn't open the cookies, right?
No. The cookies were still sealed.
Sealed.
Yes.
Vacuum sealed. Okay.
Vacuum sealed. You gave me 2 different ones, 2 different layers. So yeah, everything was sealed. And I got some other goodies from you, so I'm not gonna spoil it here. It's gonna be in a video. I kind of made a. It's actually your cookies go through the whole video in the beginning, in the middle, and at the end.
Okay.
So it should be fun.
So good or no good? Good or no good?
So I opened only one package yesterday because I wanted to try it myself. And tomorrow I'm going to have everybody in a shop. So I'll open another package so everybody can taste, and they probably might make it to another clip in a video. So we're going to give another opinion. But the ones that I tasted so far, very good, John. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
I appreciate it.
That's all I want to make sure you guys get good cookies. I sent cookies to a lot of different people, and I'm out here baking and I enjoy doing it. It's, I've sort of tweaked recipes and sort of found a way to make really, really good cookies. And I don't need 100, 200 cookies. I usually cook like in big batches. So why not just share them with the world?
That's very nice of you. Very nice of you.
Yeah.
So we
awesome.
We definitely enjoy them. And you'll see in a video, Ruby is still alive. So she was okay after eating cookies. Because you mentioned in your little message that you sent me there, you don't know if it's good enough to give it to birds, if it's okay, she's still alive. You're not supposed to give him chocolate though.
Really?
So I kind of ate the cookie around when there was more chocolate in certain spots, and then she loved them. You'll see it.
Okay.
That's
awesome. I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could feed the bird. What about the cat? What about Honey?
So Honey, I gave a little piece. No, she's not into cookies.
No. Oh, wow. So look, we're 23 minutes. We're 23 minutes into this show, and I don't know if we've touched much on reselling at all. If anything.
Well, here we can touch about reselling. What I'm holding in my hand is, and I wanted to show that off. Because it was laying here on my desk. I cut it off when I came in and I kind of put it here.
You're in the hospital?
Yeah, right. I was in a hospital. So this is they'll put it on you when you enter the show on your arm, This is called National. This is the biggest sports show.
Oh, sports collectors convention. Okay.
Yes, sports convention, collectibles, mainly sports cards, sports memorabilia, and then obviously a little bit of gaming and Pokemon, all that stuff. Huge. It's massive. It's right next to O'Hare Airport, very close to Chicago. It's a 2-floor event, 600 vendors, so it's a big deal. It takes over 5 days. I think it starts on Wednesday for like dealers and VIP. And then also PSA shows up there if you want to do any grading and you want to bring sports memorabilia, any autographs, you want to get authenticated and things like that. And I decided to go there kind of in the middle. I'm like, you know what? I'm not paying up as a dealer. I don't want to do that. I did had a couple games, expensive. I think they're going to be expensive games. I wanted to get them graded, Pokemon games. And I'm like, Tuesday is going to be crazy. It's going to be first day open to the public. I'm going to go on Friday. It was still nuts. It was so crazy that you couldn't get off expressway to get to Rosemont. I mean, it was backed up. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people show up to this event. Like I said, 600 vendors. It's massive. It's think about it, like it's, I don't know, like 2 floors, put 4 Walmarts together. So
oh yeah, we get conventions all the time out here in Vegas.
Yeah. So it's massive, and it's fun, and it's of course all ages. And guess what? I come in there. It's busy. It took about an hour just to get into the place. And then it's a madhouse because there's so many people in there trying to get to PSA, because if they have sports stuff, they want to get graded. I was blown away this year how big the PSA section was. I think it took probably a quarter of this whole convention. It was just for PSA. That's how many people wanted to get stuff graded,
Yeah.
Good thing I kind of knew somebody that helped me go through this madness over there, and I got my stuff done. But then I'm walking around and just enjoying myself, looking at different stuff that that I like, some unusual sports memorabilia that you don't see anywhere else, because all these dealers show up there to show off their stuff. A lot of cool stuff. But here, what kind of blown me away, as first of all, when you enter this whole thing, everything looks like you are associated with somehow a yellow bumblebee. And you know why I say that? Because all the logos from Whatnot, who's the main sponsor of this event this year, everything is yellow, yellow, yellow. That's their team, yellow and black, yellow and black. So it's like in your face. And there's little tiny banners here and there hanging of eBay, because eBay is a sponsor too. And then you finally get into this big event, and you're walking through and you get to the Whatnot section. And I'm not kidding you. They took over a half of the freaking building. There is people live streaming everywhere.
Really?
Booths set up, and like legit, each booth has their own streamers doing all kinds of stuff, streaming live. I don't know how many live streams they were going at the same time. It must have been hundreds. I'm not kidding you. It was going crazy. And then you got all these different people with cameras shooting this whole thing, like they making this big event out of it, it's just insane. And when I was there, I think I must have left early, but then what's his name showed up. It was out of one stream. What's that YouTuber, the boxer? Jake Paul.
Okay. He's big into cards. He's big into cards.
Yeah, he's big into cards and stuff like that, right? So, Whatnot brought him on, and they did a big deal with him. And then I walk into the eBay section. So the eBay section is, I don't know, this platform that it's the stage is probably, I don't know, 20, 30 feet long with like a table set up in the middle. Yes, they have like also cameras and big screens set up. And guess who they have right in the middle of the stage as I walk up there? They have some kind of sport guy, like a rookie, NBA rookie, talking to guess who? They had some kind of host running this whole show, but there was Jamie, a CEO of CEO, talking to him about live streaming and promoting the live streaming like there's no tomorrow. Like this is the number one thing on their agenda. When next door to them, you have 100 streamers from Whatnot.
Yeah, and I think that probably gets them all excited to see how popular
insane.
Whatnot is.
It was insane. So, but just comparing, like, yes, if they want to come on that scene and they want to be this all of a sudden crazy streaming platform and want to compete with Whatnot, but they're not showing that really. Like, you come at the same show, you have two companies trying to talk about the same thing and promote, and this one is just like nothing, and this one is right in your face. This is what we do, So it's like it's funny to see that the CEO of eBay shows up to promote this. It's like, come on, guys. Like,
did he say anything about losing his job soon to a takeover? Did he mention that at all?
Good question, right? Unfortunately, I wasn't close enough to come to him and ask him a question.
Hey, I did this. We talked about this on the live on Monday on my channel, and we sort of dove into the fact that apparently, I don't think eBay is really comparing apples to oranges or apples to apples. There's more apples to oranges in my opinion, but they're saying as compared to Black Friday last year, that eBay live sales are up 8x, so 8 times what they were back at the time, like the end of November. Of course, they pushed it more. They've kind of shoved it down our throat by throwing it on the home screen and all that. But it got me to thinking about, if you look at how culture changes, back in, was it 95 when eBay started? It was all auctions. And then in 2000, they added the buy it now feature to an auction. So you could pay up if you wanted it now. Otherwise, you had to participate in the auction. 2002, they added the fixed price side of things where you can list things for fixed price instead of auction. But the auctions really didn't die, from what I recall, until closer to like, I would say probably like 2007, 2008, where fixed price listings started to take over. And really, auctions have been an afterthought ever since. Now, some people still use them. And I'm wondering if live selling is sort of making its move. Now, there's going to be, I don't think it'll ever eclipse the fixed price listings, right? Because if someone needs something, wants something, look, I don't care about playing this game of bidding someone up or trying to get it at snipe somebody for something I need. But I would think that if they're seeing an 8x increase in eBay Live over the last 9 months, that what does it look like in 5 years from now?
Yeah, they definitely pushing on it, and they're growing that sector, and it will still grow for them. I think they're doing this a little bit wrong, that they should have totally designated areas separate for live auctions, right? Like
its own website.
Yeah, not necessarily, but yeah, you could say that.
Because maybe it already is in separate sections. I mean, even though it's interface when we go into ebay.com, it really deserves its own website, don't you think?
Right. There should be just, a right-hand corner, another extra big button that you can actually see it. You want to go to our live section, click that button, takes you over there, and you're dealing now strictly in that live world and nothing else,
Right.
That's how it should be done. It shouldn't be shoved in our face. I don't know. Maybe they're working on it. I think from the few minutes that I actually listened, what Jamie had to say, they're pushing this big time. It is like, looks like number one thing on their agenda. Here, look at this. So I took a little clip. He's sitting right there in the middle with the host, and they are talking. And this is
He's
their
not the one with the
stage.
jersey on, is he?
Huh?
He's not the one with the jersey on, is he?
No. He's wearing like a blue shirt. The
Show us
guy with
again.
the jersey is a player, but it's, it's a section like a stage, and they're sitting there, they're talking, discussing, blah blah blah, and there's few people gathered around and listening to that. But the main push is that live. We're gonna do live. So I don't think it will ever take over, like you're saying, what we are doing. Because just like you said, if somebody needs something and they need it now and they need it, they're not gonna wait on some auction if it's gonna go for this and this. Plus, 90% of these auctions, you don't even know what's coming up next.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a mystery thing for the most of the time, and there's certain cap of money that these auctions really work. I never see this taking it over what eBay is really like the way we know eBay. Yes, it could be great subsection to them and extra money because it's definitely new viewers, coming and looking at this. So they're trying to grab a little bit of that pie so they have it in their game, but I think they still should stick with what they know best, is what we do.
Yeah, I see. The thing is, I can see this thing evolving into something to where you search for something on eBay, and in the search results, they're going to start throwing like a link or like an active auction or live for that thing or that type of thing you're looking for. You're looking for a certain baseball card, a Shohei Ohtani rookie card, and so now you see a bunch of Shohei Ohtani rookie cards, and then like, somewhere in that search result, you're going to have some lives for baseball cards or something. I can see it, and I don't like it.
Maybe it's possible, but if I'm looking for this one unusual item that I need to find, nobody's gonna out of nowhere, I need this connector for my Apple, computer, blah blah blah, and I want it now, and I know they go for $20. Nobody's gonna look for this on the auction.
No. I'm saying more in like the collectible side. So if you're normally used to just going on eBay, the search doesn't work half the time the way you want it to, but you go on there anyway and you're searching for it, and then you see, instead of the links you're used to seeing for search results, you're seeing live auctions in there to try to get you to go. I don't know, I could just see the way they're going, that could be something that happens down the road.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't have a problem them trying to build this to something that can entertain another part of their customer, which is fine. Just make a separate thing, put a big button, click on it, go to that site, and you can, do that. I mean, I do live auctions here and there. I throw some items up there. Most of the time I try to entertain. You got to be entertainer to do this. I entertain my hardcore, people that watch me. They have fun, and I sell few items to them, at discount price, because everything is at discount price on these auctions. You're never gonna get a top dollar. And that's the problem. I always thought at the beginning, when these live auctions were starting, that eventually you can build enough big base that people would come, and I maybe it's still possible if you curate your store so much that you're only selling this type of stuff. You got to start at the certain price, and you have enough potentially clientele in there that have deep pockets, and they got to buy a $2,000 oil painting from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the moment, I don't see this. I see, a $10 items at best, a lot of times. So,
well, depending on your audience, how many people are going to show up. If you have a big following like you do, you're going to find more success on eBay Live than somebody randomly. Maybe they even have big store on eBay, a big presence on eBay, but because they really don't have that social media following, it might be a little tougher. Although I would say if you happen to sell within a niche and you have followers on your store, or maybe you send out newsletters to these people and you get repeat business a lot from some of these people, that if you took some of your slower performing stuff and utilized live selling as a way to move that stuff, you can contact your followers on your store. And really, I don't know if eBay allows it, but heck, you can even have them follow you over to Whatnot. But then again, if you're selling on eBay Live, you go that way with it. And I think you could do pretty well and move some of the slower performing stuff that way.
I think you are 100% right. And I can think if you are in that really niched area of something, you can even probably sell merchandise that it's not just slower moving items, like you said, that you just want to get rid of. But if you have the right following and people know, for example, listen, this guy only deals with camera equipment and he knows ins and outs in that field, and he brings the best stuff to these auctions, eventually you would have the right clientele bidding over this one unusual camera that you brought that everybody's been looking for years, right?
That's
So
right.
you potentially, there is opportunity there to get those people in there, but I think it takes time and really build that following and really curate these stores for the, it's doable, but not everybody wants to do it. Not everybody wants to sit in front of the camera and go, hey guys, this and this,
I've done it a couple times, and honestly, it's tough. I mean, you're trying to sell something that isn't all that great. It's hard to get up for. It's hard to get excited about this thing that you couldn't even sell in your eBay store, or you picked it up and you regret buying it at the yard sale, knowing that it's either A, too difficult to list, or B, it just doesn't sell that fast. So it's like, okay, it sits in a pile.
It reminds me, I don't know if you know the story of what was that show? Dirty Jobs. Remember Dirty Jobs on Discovery Channel with Mike Rowe?
I think so. I don't know if I don't think I ever really watched it, but I think I remember.
This is like 20 years ago.
Right, yeah.
20 years ago on Discovery. And then he did a narration of this Deadliest Catch show about these guys doing, catching crab in Alaska, right?
I remember that show.
I watched this interview with him, and he talked about his early days when he was just getting into entertainment and TV business and all this stuff. And his first gig was, and he's 22 years old or whatever, just fresh from school, and he gets a gig on like a QVC and a midnight slot. He's selling the worst shit you can possibly sell that nobody wants. And they tell him, Mike, here are the 3 products you're going to sell for the next, 20 minutes. And he'd be like, but I don't know anything about porcelain dolls. How are I supposed to sell this? Do your best, talk about it. So he became popular because he was just a little bit stupid. He was entertainer. So he would look up, lift the dresses up and look under, just do things that people will go, wait a minute, what is this guy doing? How did he get this job? But that's what I mean. You have to be a kind of entertainer to keep people entertained, to open up that wallet and start bidding on your stuff, especially if it's cheap stuff too. That's very hard to do if you want to convince somebody to pay $7, $8, $12 for something.
Yeah, your personality is definitely selling the product, and if you don't, if you have a personality of a paperclip, it's not going to go too well for you at all. I think we try to have fun with it. I think that's why we've done okay considering what we were selling, but it's not for everyone. I've seen some pretty bad shows, some pretty bad live shows.
Yeah.
It's like, they need to stick to live selling because they're yelling at their mom in the background, or, trying to sell a hat. One guy was on Whatnot out of his garage and he had like one rack of like a dozen fitted like NFL and MLB hats. And the guy was trying to sell these hats for every bit of 75 to $100 a piece. And that's where he would start off the listing. So it wasn't until someone popped in and said, "Hey, what's going on with that Eagles hat?" "Oh yeah, I could sell that Eagles hat. I could start it at $75." And they'd say either run it or he'd wait for them to tell them to list it. And he'd sell one every so often. And I'm thinking, I don't understand what. It just didn't make sense to me. So I don't know. It's definitely not in my business model. It's not on my radar. It's not. I've done a couple whatnot auctions, and to be honest with you, I'm not all that interested. And I know that you can get rid of a lot of stuff in a very short amount of time, but that's not my bit. I mean, I guess.
But listen, if you're gonna keep bringing, because I notice I watch some of these auctions too. If you're gonna keep bringing just junk stuff that you just want to get rid of, people are not gonna come anymore. They come 1, 2, 3 times. If you got to keep bringing interesting stuff, and anytime that I do an auction, I'll do a good mix. I'll give you a cheapie, for a few dollars, and then I'll bring something that it's worth, $50, $100, and I'll start it at the dollar, and I'll give the people chance, to get excited about something interesting. Yeah. That's how you got to do it. Otherwise, I mean, just pushing. You know what I saw? I saw somebody try to do a live auction walking into Goodwill and do it right off the shelves. Like, they had a following. They had quite a few people watching. And they were like, oh, they pick it up. They pick something up from the shelf. Oh, this looks interesting. What do you think this? Oh, I think this is what it is. You guys want to bid on it? And people say, yes, they want to bid in messages. Okay, let's start an auction on this. And there's a price on it of $3.99 from Goodwill, and this thing goes for like $14 right in the store.
Wow. Well, if you have enough people in that auction to tell you, hey, let's bid it up, and you start it at, maybe you go $1 more than what's on the ticket, so that way you can at least beat the fees. I could see that working out. It's not to me, if it's just a fun thing you're doing.
I had to be the fun thing. I watched this for a few minutes, and I was like, they got enough following that I think people are just bidding for hell of it because they want to see what else this person is gonna. It's a hunt for them. I don't think they don't care if they're gonna pay $4, $6, or $12. They just didn't. They wanted to see and be part of the action of live feed from a Goodwill.
That's awesome. I think that's pretty awesome. And provided that's not your business model, that's not how you're paying your bills. It's just kind of a side thing you're doing just for the fun of it. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't rely on it for any kind of real income, though, unless you have hundreds, if not thousands, of people following you.
But like, for example, like I mentioned earlier, listen, if I could do a live auction of vintage electronics that I'm extremely passionate about, and I know a lot, especially in that audiophile era, vintage receivers, turntables, speakers, things like that, they can bring actually pretty penny. If I could have a bunch of people interested in auction like that and looking for different kind of equipment, I would 100% enjoy it, John, because this is something that I really, really like and know a lot about, that I could talk and really play. I'm like, look at this receiver. This is the only one they made, 1 year, only 600 made, this and that, and it has this and this and this on it. No other receiver has it. That would be, I think, fun and entertaining for people who are trying to get it, and it would make sense. But I don't know if it could ever get to that level, though.
But you couldn't consider starting off an auction at $2. You'd have to set a minimum of maybe at least what you're into it for as the starting bid.
Yeah, you would have to start at some kind of minimums, maybe no reserve, and you let it go for whatever then it ends up going for. But again, you would have to have that very curated audience that are strictly into this, and they know what they're looking at, and they know even if you start this at the dollar, if you got enough people that know about this, it's gonna go up no matter what. It will go up. It's just, can it get to that point that maybe you can, maybe you can, maybe I'm wrong, maybe this is so brand new that it's still
it is so
10
brand new.
years
It's so
from
brand
now.
new that it's so brand new that people look at live selling and they're like, I don't care about that. I don't want to talk about live selling. It doesn't mean anything to me. But I have to say that if you look around one day and wonder, like, let's say you sell collectibles and you're wondering, why are my sales down? It very well could be that some of your potential customers have gone to live selling, and that could have a negative impact on what you're trying to do. Now, like someone selling toilet seats, you're safe. I think you're safe. It isn't going to affect reselling. My big concern is for those who sell in trading cards and other collectibles, that there's a large promoted presence to do live listings. And then therefore these people, instead of looking for your fixed price listings on eBay, aren't going to do that anymore. They're just going to go to these live shows and try to pick up stuff for their collection there.
No, so
that's the way I see it. So it could affect those people over the long run.
Apparently, lots of these auctions are happening already all across Asia. A lot of different platforms are doing this. They're selling their products via these live auctions. Kind of crazy, but maybe that's the new thing. I don't know.
So these are things that are affecting eBay. Whatnot, their inception has affected eBay to the point where eBay is like a lot of companies are reactionary. So it's like, ooh, they're taking away our market share. We have to have a place in this market for live selling. Otherwise, we're going to lose more market share to Whatnot. And so they're doing that. But what about the other? And this kind of shifts a little bit over to another topic, but it also involves changes that is affecting eBay's market share. And that is, what about some of these other sites? What are your take on some of these other marketplaces, like the emergence of Vinted and their aggressive promotions on I think the Midwest and the East Coast? I haven't seen any promotions on the West Coast. We have, of course, the OGs, the Poshmarks, the Mercaris that have been here for a long time, your Etsy's, and even Facebook Marketplace getting a little bit more aggressive by launching a really impressive phone app that can really make listing where I think eBay is going to. So they have that seller app now where you could just take a photo or two of the item and it, boom, identifies quickly what you're selling, offers up a price, a suggested price, and you just got to fill in a couple more things and it's ready to go. Well, seeing what eBay did with Whatnot and how they sat back and let Whatnot, kind of gain market share away, they decided to get into that game. I wonder how long it's going to be before eBay decides to emulate what Facebook is doing with their app. So it's now something you could do right through their app with a, couple photos and you have a complete listing.
Yeah. They call it a seller, right?
Seller app. Yes. The Facebook seller app. Now, some people say that on some Androids, it's not coming up in the store. I don't know. I don't have an Android, but definitely it's in the Apple store.
It's I think it's a slower rollout across Android, but listen, I think Facebook is truly a technology company. There's no question about it. The 3 billion people on Facebook, it just makes sense to keep them in that ecosystem, because what it does when you create like a seller app, that it's still somehow overall linked in that ecosystem, right? Because on that seller app, you still are able to promote your items when you're listing into these groups, these seller groups that they have, and garage sale groups and different forums that they have. That's keeping these people, especially younger people who no longer exist that much on Facebook.
Yeah.
But they do want to sell a few things that they have. What they're going to do? They're going to go and they're going to list their stuff on that seller app, but they now becoming part of that whole ecosystem, and maybe they will browse here and there and go to extra, see another feed that they haven't seen for last 10 years, and all of a sudden they're in a Facebook feed, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's how Facebook is thinking, I think. Are they gonna give eBay a run for their money? They possibly could, although till they completely branched out that they're gonna do something massive that you can ship all over, which you already can, but I believe 90% of these sellers on these apps want to sell locally.
Right.
But the local sellers on eBay are gonna go away, because there's a lot of people that sell for local pickup on eBay as well, too, for bigger items, especially if you're selling something that it's huge and you never want to ship, and it's just so it's
I've done
interesting.
that once.
This is playing out.
I had a Honda air compressor, big compressor machine that I picked up in a truckload of stuff, and I'm like, there's no way I'm selling this on eBay, until I'm like, you know what, let me try this local pickup thing, and someone from across town bought it. So
I sell local pickup on eBay too, but now I mainly sell for local pickup on Facebook because the traffic is there and it works extremely well. So I think there's going to be even more sites coming soon. They're going to take away market share from eBay.
So that said, what's your thoughts on the idea of cross listing? So you run your stuff through eBay, and then you select. You can take any program like TreeCat or any of these other ones and push them over to these other marketplaces. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, why not? If you already created a listing, and if it's a matter of just pressing a couple buttons, utilizing a service or two to get that done, why not? Long as the service is good enough that it removes the items soon as they sell, so you don't get yourself in trouble. That's the number one thing that people get in trouble. They forget to remove stuff, and it sells twice, and then you are in deep shit with one platform or another.
Right. Don't want that.
But yeah, I mean, I don't see, why not? Now, I think if you spread yourself too much, then it becomes hard to control everything too, and you can do mistakes, but I don't see a problem, having same item on 2, 3, 4 different platforms. Why not?
Yeah, I think it's good though to always get really good and fluent with the website that you're mainly listing on. So for many people, that's eBay. Get really good with that, and then branch out to something else. Learn that site a little bit, and then add a third site. So only expand when you're comfortable with the platform. And really the idea is to get uncomfortable, because it's always an adventure when you're first learning a new website, when you're expecting it to behave like eBay and it's totally different. And then you're allowing yourself to expand, which is never a comfortable thing to do. But I think it's one way to get more eyes in front of your merchandise, right? So you're not just limited to one website.
And some sites are gonna be like something brand new up and upcoming, and all of a sudden might take off. It's good, and then you have sites that been around forever and still don't do nothing, like Bonanza. Like
I never thought of them being serious. I have never thought they had. I think they had a great layout. Their listings look really nice. Their site looked okay, and for whatever reason, they never came out with an app. Like here's Marketplace. They have now. They're a technology company. For them to roll out an app is probably a little bit easier for them to do, but that's no excuse in 2026. I don't think. I think you're a serious platform, you got to at least have an app. I don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure. First of all, crazy name, Bonanza. I don't know why they thought that was going to be good for a reselling platform. And they never, and there's a couple of these that they never really move on with the times and technology, like look at Craigslist, like what happened there, like it's just,
how about this one? Didn't you tell me about it? Drip?
Yeah, that just came out. That just started like a couple months ago, I think.
Yeah, but it's like, come on. Drip?
Yeah. But think about this though. A Facebook, a site like this, when these guys are walking, breeding, doing everything about AI every single day. I mean, these guys are huge into this new, world that we're going into with artificial intelligence. You think they're gonna build a good app? I think they will. I think they can blow anybody out of the water if they want to, because
Right.
of the knowledge and the understanding of algorithms and the people that they have, engineers working for them. The question is, do they have, it's not only good enough to have that engineer to build that platform, you got to understand how that platform should operate
Right.
for buyers and sellers. So man, I would love to see like Facebook buying eBay.
Ooh.
That's what I would love to see. Okay. And putting those minds with the people that, created eBay. Well, but we have a problem with, if this was so nice. Oh man, we needed a brand new company from the get-go to start something new.
But then it's the brand recognition, right? So
Yeah.
people know about eBay. People know that's a go-to place. I don't know. It's just I don't see
At one
it happening.
point, do you remember this? This was a couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago or something like that. That eBay did something with Facebook, some kind of integration. Remember?
Well, that was about a year ago. They started bringing in eBay listings into Facebook Marketplace.
Right.
So someone's on Facebook Marketplace and then they want to buy it. It'll take them over to eBay and they finish the transaction.
Whatever happened to this?
It's still there, still going on. So you could be dealing with someone who has no intention on buying from eBay, but wow, I can't pass this deal up. This is exactly what I'm looking for. They go on to Facebook Marketplace into the listing, buy your item, and you're essentially buying it from someone on eBay through eBay with an eBay account.
That listing is somewhere on Marketplace, basically. That's what's happening.
It's being shown on Marketplace.
Got you.
And then you get ported over to.
So it's basically eBay is promoting eBay on Facebook Marketplace. That's what they're doing.
Right.
Okay.
The biggest, I think the biggest problem with Marketplace to me is you see a lot of these people who are, I don't know, borderline scammers. Like, here, send us $10 and we'll get you a pallet, or just something really stupid. And it's like, come on, get out of it. They should vet their sellers a little bit more on Facebook Marketplace.
But nobody's vetting anybody. It's all AI.
It's a wild
computers.
West.
Yeah, it's just so, and they're banning people left and right for stuff that they shouldn't be banned because it's crazy. Yeah.
For me, I may integrate Marketplace a little bit more. I know I've been hesitant to do it because I just really don't like dealing with meeting up with people, or that message you're getting all the time. Is it available? And then you're like, okay, it's here. It's ready for you to come pick up. And they don't ever respond back to you. It's like, well, why did you reach out then? So there's some issues that I've always had with Marketplace, but at the end of the day, these other platforms, I think if you're not utilizing them, you're leaving potentially a lot of opportunity and money on the table. If you're struggling on eBay, I think it's one way to add a little bit more sales. I'm a big believer in that.
100%. So my main two platforms that I use all the time, I used to use 5 platforms. Now I've been down to 2 steady for the last 5 years. It's eBay and Facebook Marketplace. I used to be on Etsy. I used to be on Poshmark. I used to be on Macari. I used to be on OfferUp as well. It was just spread out too much. What I realized that eBay is solid and it's good percentage of my business, and Facebook is also solid for my local needs, and it's good part of my business. We have at any given time at least couple hundred listings on Facebook.
You're set up perfectly for that, though. I think you're set up perfectly.
Drives a lot of traffic, drives a lot of traffic. For us, it's a little bit simpler because all we got to do, this is our address, these are the hours of the operation, show up, you know?
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
none of this, I'll meet you at 3 o'clock at Starbucks, you know, and nobody ever shows up. So it's a lot easier for us to do this, but it works beautifully, drives new traffic to the store every single day. And it's a good part of my business. At least it generates probably 20% of sales in my overall ecosystem, which is a lot. 20% is a lot.
Of course. Which is a reason why I think people should really take the time to investigate cross-listing as a way to add more volume to what they're doing. And you never know. There's people that I hear all the time on my show, hey, I'm doing more sales on Mercari than I'm doing on eBay. And it's, you know, if they would never have taken that step to try it, they would never be in the position they're in at all to get those extra sales. So I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat? Do you think cross-listing is worth your time? Do you think, have you tried it? Now, if you haven't tried it, I guess you really don't have a whole lot to say. But if you have tried it, what did you like about it? And what did you not like about it? So with that, Pete, why don't you, I know you're on vacation right now, but can you at least send us out of here?
Send us out of here. Sure, absolutely. So don't, how would I say this? If you gave up on a platform before you were on it, like on Poshmark or Etsy, and you had few listings and it wasn't doing too good for you, and you then concentrated 100% on eBay, but you understand how that platform already operates, now it's so easy to use that service. But you got to understand how the platform works. So give it a shot again to Etsy or Mercari or whatever site you want to use extra. Don't be scared. A ton of different softwares are out there to help you do that. Don't keep, like they say, don't keep all your eggs in one basket, right?
That's right. That's right. So with that said, guys, words of wisdom. Thank you for being with us for yet another episode of the Hunt and Flip Show. And we'll see you guys next week. And hopefully Pete will find his glasses.
Cheers.